Now, obviously, as the story develops, there's still a lot more to learn about Kohberger, but take a look at this. It's a survey Kohberger posted online as part of an undergraduate research project. Now, part of the introduction reads, quote, "I'm inviting you to participate in a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime." The survey was aimed at criminals. Now, listen to some of these questions he was asking. Quote, "Why did you choose the victim or target over others? Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your home? What was the first move you made in order to accomplish your goal? After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim or target? How did you leave the scene?" Sounds a little odd to me. But let's go to FBI retired criminal profiler and author of Journey to the Center of the Mind, James Fitzgerald, for his expert opinion. James, listen, I read some of these questions that Kohberger had in his undergraduate research project. What do you make of that in light of his arrest today?
Sean, as soon as I heard those questions or read them earlier, it reminded me of the protocol of like 400 questions that we had back in the day as new profilers when we would go through our intensive training in Quantico, Virginia. Within a year or so, we'd go out to the prisons and interview serial offenders and violent offenders. They're convicted, they're not going anywhere, there's no deals offered, and we would ask them about 400 questions about how they committed crimes, why they committed crimes, why they chose certain victims, why they didn't choose other victims. And you know what? The questions I've seen so far in our subjects, the questions that he had prepared for his master's thesis, very similar to those. So this guy obviously is intelligent. This guy has obviously done his research, and he wanted to get inside the mind of these people. But at the same time, perhaps he wasn't getting all the answers from them himself, so he had to do it himself, commit this type of a crime to truly answer those questions. And what a heinous way to go about doing your research in this regard.
But it begs the question, was he doing this for his thesis or research project, or was he actually doing, oppo research to make sure he could better commit his crime when he chose to do it?
Sure, and many criminals, Kaczynski, the D.C. sniper, the anthrax guy, they all claim to have these over-the-top sort of rationales and reasons for doing it once they're caught. But quite frankly, they have violent ideations, many of them mental health issues, and they want to sort of form an excuse for why they go out and commit crimes, be it a one-off like this guy killing 4 people at once, or being a serial offender that goes on for weeks or months or decades in the case of some of them. So this guy wanted to kill someone, I am sure about that. And once he got more in the world of this whole criminal justice studies and how these prisoners think and operate, he somehow thought he could be one of them. But you know what? He thought he would be smarter. And you know what, Sean? It reminds me from 99 years ago, before my time, but I'm certainly familiar with the history of the Leopold and Loeb case in Chicago. They were a couple of college students, thought they were smarter than law enforcement, and they went and kidnapped and killed a 14-year-old boy. There was a movie called Rope made in 1948, a Hitchcock movie, which captures that. The methodology is different, of course, but I think part of what this guy is someone who thinks he's smarter than the rest of us, certainly law enforcement, and that may be at least one of the factors which contributed to him committing this crime.
James, over the last 7 weeks, we've had a lot of people on TV, all networks, criminal profilers, psychological profilers of what this killer would look like. We don't know a whole lot about Kohberger, but from what you've seen, would he match the profile of someone who would commit a crime like this?
Well, Sean, I was here 5 weeks ago tonight, this exact show, just about this exact time, and I laid out 3 potential scenarios of this person. And it was someone known by the victims, directly, indirectly. Maybe he knew them more than they knew him. It could be someone involved in incel, involuntary celibacy, or some kind of a sexual sadist. A few of those can actually be, they're not mutually exclusive. They can be, people can operate under 2 or even 3 of those conditions when committing these crimes. Throw in this fascination with real world crime and the prisoners and the inmates and this questionnaire he put out. This fascination level was so high for him, just doing the research on his own wasn't enough. He had to go and involve himself himself directly in these crimes. He didn't choose shoplifting, unfortunately. He chose mass murder of 5 innocent people while they slept.
Yeah, it's so sad. James Fitzpatrick, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.